Right, hello, how are you? Welcome back to round 2 of Cgprl Season 2. As always, back on a Friday night at slightly delayed today. I do understand and I do apologise for that. We had a bit of a problem with getting things set up. We had a couple of people struggling to join the sessions, but nevertheless we are here now. As usual, joining us about halfway through the qualifying session. Just give you a quick rundown so far, and just before I get into that, I want to mention we have no Ryan with us today. I'm sure he will be joining us on the on the broadcast. So that's my voice. So nice to know that I'm still working. Meanwhile, Steve, I believe he's just popped in a lap, cutting through the center S's now. As you can tell by the title of this live stream, we're on the legendary MP4, the McLaren designed 1988 car, which won 15 out of the 16 races. I believe it didn't win the 16th race due to one of the cars colliding with the back markers, I do believe. Don't quote me on that. However, but yeah, here at Interlagos, one of the tracks rumoured to be leaving the F1 season after 2019, I believe, with a rumoured track in Rio de Janeiro. But for the time being, we are here, and yeah, we're just watching Steve on track as he will look to get 1 or 2 laps in. Currently, Giano again at the top of the standings. He was pole fastest lap and the win in Spa last time out, and he's looking good to continue that. He's about 3/10 clear of the next car, which is Steve, and then it's Yannick in P3 on his lap at the minute. Moraine, the reigning GPRL Season 4 champion, the most decorated GPRL driver in history. Moraine rocking a Senna-inspired helmet there, which is a nice little touch. A lot of the drivers actually rocking special helmets for this event. Now this is Lucas on his lap. Lucas he was having a good race last time out until he unfortunately had a bit of contact with Karim. Karim not here today, unfortunately. But now we watch Lucas. I'm not quite sure. I think he is on a fast lap. I can't quite tell at this point. It is quite weird watching cars like this, as we're used to bigger fast F1 cars, but these are going to be quite a handle for the drivers. As before we started the live stream, I did see Steve go off and make a mistake due to the oversteer. They are very tetchy at the rear end. As we now watch Lucas through the final corner. I believe he's up on his best by a couple of tenths from what I saw, and now it's absolutely flat out to the line. Just under 5 minutes left in this qualifying session, so we'll see what he's going to be able to do. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I can't quite see who that is, but yeah, Lucas backs off. So he's looking for one more run right at the end of the session. So clearly wasn't too pleased with that run. Here we have Moraine on a lap. As we mentioned earlier, the Senna-inspired helmet as he comes through the long left-hander here. Very easy to get a bit of oversteer coming out that corner and cook up the rear tyres. As Steve disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but that's going to see him to the back of the grid. So that's a free place for everyone. Not great run for Steve, with problems last time out due to his connection, but now we focus on Moraine. He looks quite off the pace actually. That he won't be challenging the times on this lap, so he must have backed out from what I thought was a lap. Clearly not, and Moraine looking to go again. But so who else is on a lap? This is Mike, Cookie Game at 50, who I believe he is actually on a lap into the final corner. It's quite hard to tell who's on a lap, who is not on a lap. This is obviously a very prestigious car. All the drivers would love to win in this car. Flying now. What can Mike do? Can he bring himself up from P7? No, he cannot. He does improve by about a second, but not enough to challenge Sebastian ahead of him. So I think he may be going on another lap. I'm not entirely sure. It looks relatively quick through the first Senna S, so yeah, we'll have to see. Staying out the toe. Yeah, Mike would like to challenge the cars ahead. He's currently less than a tenth off Sebastian, who is just ahead of him, and actually coming out the pits now. and then it's Amar up in P5, who's just gone slightly slower than his personal best, and maybe attacking the track once again. We mentioned this last time up in Spa. The good thing with these cars is that you can fuel the car up. The tyres will last more than one lap. So here's Yannick actually on his lap now. I believe this is his first lap. He does have time for another 2 laps actually, should he mess one of them up. So maybe he's going for a fast lap, a cool down lap, and then a fast lap again at the end. It'll be interesting to see what he can do, as Yannick looked strong in Spa. It was a solid P2 for him, but I'm sure Yannick would always like to improve. I know he always wants to improve. He's never had a title in GPRL. It's a big moment there for Yannick as he goes slightly wide. I believe that will be this race, this lap, sorry. Slightly messed up. We have a comment. I will go and have a look. If you're watching the stream, feel free to leave a comment. Tell us how you're feeling. Rowan Janssen. I apologise, but I don't speak Dutch. But so that's that. Anyway, we'll watch Yannick run to the line. It's not a great lap from him, 3 seconds off the pace, so he must have backed out of that in the final sector following the mistake. Very nice helmet Yannick is running there today. But yeah, Yannick will be going on his lap now, and it might be nip and tuck actually to whether he can get another lap in. I think he should just about make it if he doesn't back off too much, if he does end up backing off. So Yannick on his lap through the first sector. Jana is starting his lap now. Moraine, I believe, is also on his lap. Yes, he is. So we have quite a battle for pole here. Moraine will not be able to fit another lap in. So through the first sector, he does a 19.0. If we compare that to the likes of Jana, he's just gone about 0.2 quicker. Well, it says he does. I don't think. I don't think it actually has. So that's the graphics failing me. Jana does an 18.9 in the first sector. Very strong first sector for the current championship leader. Obviously, Jana winning the race in Spa, and you can see Yannick 9/10 off. He's not going to be able to match his time, and he's going to have to rely on getting a good run up the hill, and hopefully for his case, getting one more lap. Damien further down does a 17.2, very close to Moraine, just about 100th off, and he's up into P4. What can Moraine do? Mike can't improve, stays P8. That's his session over. We now to Yannick, who can't go over seconds, the best he can do. Moraine can't impress that he can do. So who? I don't think they will be improving. We look to Jana. Can Jana improve? Yes, he can across the line by just under a tenth. That's going to solidify the pole position so he can do anything about it. If you remember back to Australia, not Australia, Austrias, he goes very wide there. That's going to be his qualifying session. Absolutely over when showed incredible pace. Unfortunately, not being able to show that again today. So now we turn to Amar, the last remaining driver who's able to put a good lap in. I haven't seen too much of his lap, but it did look as if he was very close to Damien throughout the whole of it. He's going to hit the inside wall. So great job from Amar there, and quite a dramatic conclusion to that qualifying session. But in the end, it's Jana ahead of Yannick, and then Moraine in P3. So Felix has come in as a translator, so thank you, Felix. So Rowan Janssen says, what I question myself, why does Shrek live in a swamp when he was much better than Trump? Shrek should be in the White House. Okay, cool. I don't understand Dutch, but if someone would like to translate, that would be great. So yeah, quick qualifying rundown. Jana about half a second quicker than Yannick. Then it's Moraine, who it's all very close from third down to fifth. Steve was up there, unfortunately getting disqualified for blocking the the pit exit. Mike couldn't get in a good lap, and he'll be looking to improve on that for the race. But I think it's time we get going. Correct, Felix? I am the owner. Thank you. Thank you, Felix. So now we're just waiting for everyone to load in. Here we go, the drivers are off. On their formation lap, Jarno ahead of Yannick, ahead of Moraine, then it's Damien, Lucas, Amar, Sebastian, Mike and Steve, who unfortunately did get disqualified. But the only way is up for Steve, so he showed good pace, so I think a podium for Steve could be on today if he keeps it clean, has a good race and things go his way. Obviously he showed his pace in Singapore in the last round of GPRL Season 5. And Steve's going to be looking to improve on that. Looking at Jarno, he's just had incredible pace really, and he'll be looking to continue the streak today. Meanwhile, in Moraine's case, he had a pretty miserable race in Silverstone. Not Silverstone, Spa. What's going on with me, Ed? Yeah, he had a miserable race in Spa. As you can see, Jarno now really backing up the pack to try and get the tyre temps as equal as possible. There's a bit of contact further back. Yannick and Moraine both retiring or being disqualified from the formation lap. So it's all fun and games for now. But if we think back to when we were here last time in GPRL Season 4, there was a crash down the back straight where there was contact, and two drivers, I believe it was Felix and Alex, who both spun out, so we'll have to see if that repeats itself today. But Jarno pulls up on his grid spot, and now he's just got to focus on his start. So we're now ready. We've got all 5 drivers, all 5 lights. We've got multiple people with a jump start. I'm not really sure what's happened there. There's a lot of jump starts. Lucas jumps up. Amar also jumps up as he's down the inside. But looking at the effective lead, Yannick has got past. So the contact, Lucas is off. Sebastian's round. There's absolute melee at turn 1. But Amar leads, considering he needs to serve his drive-through penalty. Mike up into P2. I'm not sure if that's legitimate or not. I don't think it is legitimate, as Yannick now goes down the inside of turn number 4. Forces Mike out. Yannick up into the effective race lead past his usual teammate, Jarno. And Jarno's not going to be too happy. I didn't quite see what happened there at the start because of all the moving about. Damien has got past Moraine. And Steve is now actually side by side with Moraine, so it's been an absolute miserable start for Moraine. He's going to have to try and hang it round the outside. Obviously, Steve's going to give it a red hot shot, but can't quite do it. Moraine squeezes him up, and Moraine keeps that position. And it's all been quite crazy at the start. We had so many drive-through penalties. I think 3 or 4 maybe. As we look further back, Jarno maybe having a look at Mike, sort of scares him off the apex, similar to what Charles Leclerc can do. Notably at Bahrain, there's contact there between Mike and Jarno. I don't think there's any damage, but Jarno has got past. So has Damien. And that's Moraine getting absolutely incredible tow. He's going to look to make it P3, which is an effective P2 once all the pit stops happen. They're 3 wide into turn 1, round the outside goes Moraine. He can't quite hang it, there's contact, and I believe Steve has been collected. Yes, he has, and Damien. So that's going to release Jarno up into P3, Sebastian up into P4. But yeah, Steve, I don't think he's got damage, I don't think Damien's got damage, and miraculously, I don't think Moraine does. So I'm not quite sure how that's happened, but all drivers getting away with it, as Mike and Lucas, the 2 newbies to GPRL, have both served their drive-through penalties. Amar is off. It's been an absolute crazy first few laps of the Brazilian Cgprl, and yeah, wow. I need to lie down. So Amar backed off to the back, and now these are the proper positions. Yannick pulling a gap to his teammate Jarno, who dominated in Spa, and now Sebastian P3. Sebastian hasn't scored a podium yet in Cgprl, and he's got Steve, the one of the most experienced drivers we have on the grid. Yannick sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. No bonus points in Cgprl, but nevertheless the pride is there. Steve now gaining on Sebastian. Sebastian's not going to defend the inside. Down the inside goes Steve. It's late in the day, and Sebastian can't quite hold it around the outside. It's a very good move there from Steve, but Sebastian looks to have the traction. Is he going to try Max Verstappen around the outside? No, he's not. He's going to tuck in to the slipstream. Steve defending the inside line. Sebastian's going to have to make it work around the outside of turn number 4. Looks like Steve has it on the brakes. He's got more confidence and he's up into P3. I said at the start, Steve can get a podium, and that's exactly what he's put himself in the correct position to do. So P3 for Steve from what was P9 on the grid. So an incredible start from Steve. And I think I need to lie down because Moraine, just a little correction. I have no idea about damage, because considering that crash, I'm very surprised they all came away without damage. So that is quite incredible. As we're on board with Mike, the first of those to serve their stop and go. There's a yellow flag. That's Amar, who's got damage now and has had a torrid day. And yeah, I think that's basically it for his race. As Yannick sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. That gap at the front is really coming down. 1.8 seconds now, the gap. And something notable is Jarno's first win in GPRL, I believe, was at Brazil. First or second win, it was something like that. And Jarno really does like this track. He obviously put it on pole, lost out at the start. There's a yellow flag, Amar out of the session, as Sebastian is in the pits. So I'm not sure if that was for damage, as he gets very sideways coming out the pits. Not sure if that was for damage or not. I doubt it would be for tyres, because tyres can easily last the difference. But he's had an accident coming out the pits. He's been respawned back onto the track, but he's got damage, and that's a right shame for Sebastian, because he was running in a very good position. So, the yellow flag, I'm not quite sure. I think that would have been Sebastian. But yeah, weird decision to pit. He must have had damage. But looking back to the front battle now, Jarno is closing on Yannick, and I would have loved to see how Yannick got past, whether it's just a quick reaction or whether Jarno sort of got held up by some of the jump starters. We'll have to have a look at the footage after the race, but Jarno definitely bringing that gap down to Yannick. As I have a little drink, unfortunately I don't have Ryan to lean back on me at the moment, but yeah, Ryan, you are missed. If you're watching this, hello mate. I hope the college interview goes well, and we are missing you. Just a little bit of an update. I have a couple of people on the stream. Dave, hello Dave, how are you? Felix says Jumpstart Madness. Hello Matty, hello Dave. Hello Jack, I am getting absolutely spammed. Hey, Sebastian, and you like scare. Okay, it's like the day you thought, Alex, don't worry, I'm supporting you on one of your views. Thank you, Jack. I said, bloody hell, I've just looked up from the screen, and Jarno is very close to Yannick. I've got a sweat on the minute. It's bloody roasting in this conservatory, but c'est la vie, I'm afraid. And will Jarno be able to have a run on Yannick? Yannick seemingly just having no pace, and does it? I think it looked as if he moved out of the way there, because he got an absolute horrible run out the final corner. And now the two Sauber OGs, if you will, moving to Mercedes next season in GPRL. They're on the power. It's flat out to turn 1, side by side. And Jarno's going to hold it round the outside. That'll be an incredible move from Jarno, if he can hold it. Accidentally switching to Sebastian there, I apologise. But Jarno up into P1. Now, can Yannick do anything about it? He's on the power. Jarno lagging around ever so slightly. Yannick tucking back into the slipstream. Again, he's going to have to try it round the outside turn 4, but it looks as if he's hanging it. He's being forced out by Jarno. This is an absolute nip and tuck battle between the two Sauber drivers. And a little bit of contact with the curb there took Yannick off, and I can't quite see, but I don't think he has damage. I think he's got away with that one, very luckily indeed, because that could have been a nightmare. But Jarno up into the lead, and it looks like he's pulling a gap, 2.5 seconds already. So it'll be interesting to see if Yannick has damage. Meanwhile, further back, Steve and Moraine sort of just in a league of their own, no one really around, and Damien is keeping Moraine honest. As I will check the comments. I'm back. Hello, Roan. If that's your name, I do apologise if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, looks like Yannick just has incredible pace, and he is untouchable at the moment. Chat, what are we thinking? Who's going to win this race? So we got Yaki, Rowan. I'm not pronouncing your names right, I do apologise. I want to say, I think we're breaking a GPRL record today with the most amount of comments on the live stream. So thank you for that. Looks like we have something in from Amar actually, complaining about Yannick it looks like, but Lucas going side by side with Mike. Similar to what we saw a moment ago with Yannick and Yana, down the inside goes Lucas, and it looks as if he's got that move done. He does leave space on the inside very nicely. The drivers are very nice to each other. But yeah, well done to the two of them, and very fair. These two GPRL new guys not had an incredible start, although showing good paces, a good turn of pace at some point, as Mike little look down the inside can't quite make that one work. But yeah, these two are having a good race, and staying out of trouble so far after the drive-through penalty. But it looks as if Yannick, well, I spoke too soon there, but they're all going to die before they finish. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. But yeah, 3.2 second gap there is between Yannick and Yana. Then looking further back at Steve, 5.5 second gap to the leader. And looks like Jackie, I'm going to call him Jackie, has attracted a new viewer, so welcome. Welcome. We're about halfway's distance. Ryan, I'm missing you, mate. Please come back. My voice is dying. It's also very warm, but less about that. I think Steve is starting to close in. I'll just get the gaps up now real quick. Steve is starting to close in. Less than 2 seconds now. Steve is closing in, and Damien is not very close to Moraine. I thought he was close to Moraine. Then Moraine pulling out a gap, but it looks like Moraine's going to miss out on the podium yet again, unless there is contact between these two, or I don't know, something miraculous happens, which is quite a surprise actually. I will admit it is quite surprising, as Damien gets a 3-second time penalty for warnings. Interesting, because it's after the first sector. It's very hard to get warnings, so he must have picked those up in the first sector. Yellow flag in sector 3, and oh, Yannick has spun. That was Yannick who spun, so that's going to drop him to P3, and that's it was with the right commentators, cuz, because Moraine is now up into P3, so Moraine getting that podium, which I said he'll miss out on. So another instance of commentators curse there, and I do apologise, Yannick, please don't hurt me. But Yannick, he has shown good pace, so I would expect him to be able to fight back. But something I'm seeing is a lot of oversteer from quite a few drivers. That may suggest the rear tyres are going off, so we may see a counter strategy from someone to try and pit later on in the race, therefore have fresher tyres at the end and be able to come back faster, and yeah, be able to overtake the drivers. That's definitely the plan. I'm bored of your voice now. I'm bored of my voice too. How's your foot champs going, Alex? It's going good. It's going good. I'm 2 for 3 at the moment. I'm not the best FIFA player, so yeah, that's that. But yeah, we have quite a couple of people on the stream at the moment. As we still have Yana leading, pulling away. Not doing too bad for himself at all. And just to say that that's a fast lap of the Grand Prix. And one gap that I'm very interested in is Yannick to Moraine. Oh, is Yannick going to pit? Looked as if Yannick was going to pit there and pull off to the left. What happened to Yannick? Felix, Yannick spun off. He spun off at the final corner, the Islak Glock corner, or the one after it, I should say. And yeah, unfortunately, he's dropped back. However, he does look as if he's slowly chipping away at that gap to Moraine, so we may see a battle between the two of those come the end of the Grand Prix, or Cprix I should say. Sebastian's in the pits for what I believe is the third time today. New nose cone going on for him. I'm actually advertising the pro clubs. Where are we? We are in lap 10. 69 comments. Yes, boys. Right, just stop commenting. We'll leave it on 69 or 70. Oh well. No, you won't, Jack. Please don't. So, where are we? Moraine, P3, and he's looking good. However, oh, he's gone wide. He has gone very wide there, and Yannick is closing up 2.3 seconds now. The gap between Yannick and Moraine, 2.1. So it looks like Moraine maybe again having tyre troubles. We saw this towards the end of GPRL Season 4, Moraine winning the title obviously, but he has always struggled with his tyres, and specifically the rear tyres, which myself and Ryan has pointed out on numerous occasions. So maybe Minecraft is now 10 years old, let that sink in. Thank you, Felix. It is 10 years old, so yeah, that's the thing. Yannick ahead of Damien, who looks to be dropping off. But it looks like Yannick is closing in. 2 seconds is the gap. Looks like Yannick has a bit of an advantage over Moraine in a straight line, which would suggest lower downforce levels. So Moraine, you'd expect to be a little bit more handy through the corners. Brazil, it's a sort of the in the middle circuit. You don't want to be too high aero because you got a couple of long straights, but at the same time you have, you know, the center S. You got turn 4, which we're going through now. Then turn 6, where Lewis Hamilton lost it in the qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2017. As we approach turn 6 now, it's a very fast right-hander double apex. You want the high downforce for these parts, so it's a very tricky track to get the setup correct for. But if you do get it correct, which I believe Yana has done, is he's now borderline 9 seconds clear of the next car behind. As 1.8 is the gap through the middle sector split. As 86 comment. 86 comments. So we're making money, and we do appreciate it. So you can keep going, guys. Any questions you have, do please come in. I will answer them honestly and truthfully. There's a yellow flag in sector 1, and that's Sebastian doing a little donut on the curb of the right-hander. I don't know the name. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name. But yeah, that's Sebastian off to the right, as Yannick taken about a 10th off again, which seems to be a common trend. But if he takes a 10th off each lap, you won't be able to close up and then take the win. Other than this battle, we don't have another battle on track, so we're waiting to see if Yannick can do anything. Yannick he's proven his pace. Well, we all knew he had pace anyway, but he has shown a very good turn of pace in these classic cars, but it's never really come together. Who do you expect, if Felix comes in, who do you expect to win Season 5? That's a very good question, Felix. It genuinely is. We have a lot of competition for Season 5. Obviously, Moraine, the reigning champion, he's going to be looking to make it 3-on-3, the first hat-trick of champions. And that will be quite prestigious if we can. We know Moraine, he's very quick. Felix, yourself, you looked very quick in certain races when it went your way, and you know, I think if you can keep that up throughout the season, you'll be a contender. Yannick and Yana, you know, Jarno had his races. Let's take Hungary for example. Jarno dominated, and if he can find that pace, he can win the championship. Yannick had very good pace towards the end of the season. He didn't get a win, but he got multiple podiums, and sometimes, just sometimes, we saw this in Moraine last season. He didn't get the most wins in the season, but due to his consistency, he won the championship. So if Yannick can continually get podiums, it could be looking good for Yannick. Then we have Marcos returning. We've seen the pace of Marcos. Let's say Bahrain, for example, season 4, coming from 17th on the grid to win. It's something we've never seen before in GPRL, and it is quite incredible that he did that. And it is a GPRL record for most places gained in one race. So yeah, Marcos is a contender. Who else is there? You know, we could have more drivers come into the league that show potential. Steve, who is currently in P2 at the moment. In Singapore, he came in from nowhere and dominated. He led every lap and won the race. So if Steve can keep up that pace as he picks up 3-second time penalty, if Steve can do that in the next season, he is a championship contender. Felix says if Marcos attends the races, he will win. If Marcos can get into a rhythm early on and maintain that rhythm, I think he is definitely a threat, because Marcos is incredibly fast. But we'll have to see. I believe Season 5 will be the best season yet of GPRL. We obviously have it on the new game. Season 5 kicking off on the 16th of August. Save the dates, boys. And yeah, we're currently on board with Yannick, and what Ryan pointed out last week as a sort of Mika Hakkinen tribute helmet, which is fitting for today, as just a couple of years after this, Mika did drive the McLaren on the same livery, not quite the same car, but yeah, the Flying Finn did come into it not long after this. 7 years, I think, if my maths is correct. 1995, I believe he debuted. Yes, it would have been 95 or 94, one of the two. No, I'm not coming on FIFA, thank you, Jack. But Yannick has now closed to within half a second. He's in the slipstream. He can't quite make a late move down the inside of turn number 1. Yannick being very aggressive over that first curb of the CNRS. Moraine gets a big slide. So this is where the tyre wear will start to come into it. As I mentioned, tyres will be wearing out at this point, as Yannick, without DRS assistance, can't quite get close enough. But it does look as if Yannick is the faster driver. Well, he is. The lap times prove it. And oof, I thought Yannick was going to go for it there. Moraine defended the inside very aggressively, and yeah, defending again. So Moraine clearly knows he is in a dire situation, and yeah, my money is on Yannick to get this final spot of the podium. Can he run one up the inside? No, he can't quite, and I think he's going to have to wait to the pit straight, but I believe he will get this done. Meanwhile, Jarno just about to start the 17th lap of the race. There you go, as it ticks over. So Jarno's been in an absolute league of his own, and we haven't really focused on him all race since he got past Yannick. Yannick now trying to replicate what Jarno did to him and get back past, or get past Moraine after his spin. Dropped him to P4. Slightly harder to overtake in a straight line in these cars because of the lack of DRS. But if Yannick gets an opportunity, I'm sure that he will take it. With just 2 laps to go, Yannick gets a 3-second time penalty, but I'm sure he'll still go for the move. Moraine doesn't know that, so unless he's watching the stream, but Moraine will still defend it, because you never know, Moraine may pick up a penalty, so it's still worth defending it. Meanwhile, Sebastian has been lapped, and yeah, I think we're just waiting as 3-second time penalty for Mike. And dare I say, I'm not quite sure about Yannick's pace anymore. It looks as if it's sort of fizzled out. Maybe his tyre starting to kick in also, because this gap's sort of maintaining around the 8/10 mark. Be interesting to see if Yannick's going to make the move. It will have to be on this next straight, but it doesn't quite look as if he can do that. Saying that, Moraine sideways, very sideways on the exit, drifting it, so his tyres not liking it too much. Shrekker's love, Shrekker's life, says Felix. And I think that's going to be just enough to his GPRL Season 4 and Season 5 teammate, Felix in 98th comment, on 4 victories. Yannick been quite aggressive through the Senna S, but I don't think it's quite enough for Yannick. There's not really a proper overtaking zone on the track unless we do get an is it Glock moment. 100th comment. Thank you, Felix. 100 comments on this 100th yeet on this broadcast. But less about the broadcast and more about this man. He's smashed it, to say the least. He has absolutely smashed it. He lost it at the start, and it looked as if Yannick was going to take, or well, he was pulling away initially. Looks as if he was going to take the win, but Jarno stormed past him, and when Yannick made a mistake, Jarno didn't. He's been the fastest driver today, and I think it's fair to say he has absolutely earned this race. It's 2 from 2 for Cgprl Season 2 for Jarno, who crosses the line to take the checkered flag. It's P1 for him. Steve comes home with P2. I think he'll be satisfied from that, from P9 on the grid, but I think he'll think what could have been without the disqualification from qualifying. Moraine finally picks up a podium, and then Yannick, hang on, Yannick's been promoted to the lead. Right, that's wrong. That confused me for a moment. Where does Damien? We've got a bit of a glitch timing beam at the moment. Damien will finish P5. Lucas P6 when he crosses the line. Yep, we still have the spars going on. Sebastian finishes, pulls us into the pits, and here's Mike crossing the line. So that was actually a very dramatic race in Brazil. Very much enjoyed it, and I think we'll be looking forward to the next round, which is, let me find this first, but here is the podium. Jarno on the top step. I think he'll be happy with that. Why would you not? So the next round is the Silverstone Short Circuit in the MP4 23, which is Lewis Hamilton's 2008 championship winning car, and it's a 50% race because of the short track distance. But Jarno takes another win, Murray gets the podium, so does Steve, so Jarno will continue to lead the Drivers' Championship, and in terms of Steve will come up quite a few positions as last race. I don't know if he scored points actually, so yeah, no, not scoring points last race did Steve. Mike apologising to Jarno for the hit on the straight, and we're going to end it there. So thank you guys for joining us for a record-breaking GPRL episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed the race today. Join us next time at the same time for round 3 in Silverstone. Catch you next time. Bye bye.